David, you talk to a lot of people who are in the Facebook group, and some people sometimes are on free trials. They have some questions about the functionality, and the Claimable Business Listings add-on comes up. So we wanted to take the time this week to cover some best practices and use cases of where the Claimable Business Listings would work best, and how you can best take advantage of this tool. So I'll pass it over to you, David, if that's okay.
Thanks, Jason. So we've covered and we've discussed claimable business listings quite a bit in previous webinars, but we've kind of discussed the various aspects of claimable listings without really giving a good overview of how claimable listings work, why you might want to utilize this add-on on your website, how it could help get the ball rolling if you're starting a brand new website from scratch, and then also how it works from the website owner's perspective, the admin area, and then also how it would work from, in this case, a business owner whose business is listed on your website, but they need to claim that listing so that they can update information on their profile and things like that. So if we get right on into it, what are claimable listings? Figured this is a pretty good area to start for this topic. So essentially, a claimable listing is a business listing, a professional's listing, a profile on your directory website that doesn't have an owner or a member associated with it. It's a listing that you either imported through a CSV file or one that you manually created in the admin area, but you don't have that actual business owner associated with the listing. And so the status of these members, these listings, are set as claim listings. And so what that does is it puts a link and a little banner notice on these profile pages that says, are you the owner of this business? Click here to claim this listing. And so when the owner of that business, for example, goes to that profile page and they say, hey, this is my business, I want to take control of this listing, I want to update the information on it, they can click that claim listing button, and then they can select one of your membership plans that you're offering. They can create their account, and then they can take control of that listing and use it as they would have if they just signed up normally through your site.
Yeah, I think it's pretty common. We've seen them around sites. Maybe we found your own business on a review site, claim this listing to respond to reviews and things like that. And I think Yelp is one of the bigger companies, or they set the standard for claiming business listings here.
Exactly. So that's why we figured it would be good to include an example from Yelp in this presentation here, just because Yelp is the biggest kind of business directory online. It's one that most, if not all of us use, and we're familiar with it. So just here you can see even Yelp has both claimed and unclaimed business listings. So this one on the left, Barrel and Ashes, you can see it says unclaimed, which means somehow it was added to Yelp. The business owner didn't do it themselves. So either Yelp scraped that information and put it on themselves, or somehow it got added to their website. And so if the owner of this restaurant, Barrel and Ashes, came across the listing on Yelp, they could click claim this business, they can make an account, and then they can take ownership of that listing, update their information, their hours, add images, reply to the reviews that have been left on their listing, everything like that. And then over on the right, you can see this restaurant, Bottlefish. It does say that it has been claimed. So either the owner of the business actually made the listing themselves on Yelp, or Yelp already had the listing there and the owner saw their listing and they claimed it, and they've updated their hours. They've probably replied to the hundreds of reviews they have, etc. So that's just kind of a brief explanation of how it works, and how it works even on a website as common and popular as Yelp.
And keep in mind, look how they incentivize the business to claim the listing. They're basically telling you what you're missing out on. You're missing out on business statistics, receiving messages from prospective customers, and responding to reviews, and other things that are beneficial to people, to businesses that are officially registered on the site. So, just saying, is this your business? Claim it now. That works a little bit, but sometimes businesses need a little bit of an extra push, and that can either be done on the actual message on the profile page, or when they click on the link, claim this business, have a little bit more information about the benefits of why they should claim their business. So I just want to mention that there.
That's a great point. And on the next slide, you'll see By default, this has kind of been put into place with the default messaging on a Brilliant Directories site if you are utilizing claimable listings. You can see here this little banner at the bottom of the top section of this profile. It says, "Are you John Smith? Claim this listing to receive referrals from this page." So you know, okay, if I'm John Smith, there's a benefit to me claiming this listing. I might be able to get more business because I'll actually be able to be notified of referrals or potential customers or clients or things like that. And so going into the benefits of claimable listings, there's some pretty obvious ones. The biggest benefit and the most obvious one would be that if you do import a list of businesses or professionals, you will obviously increase the volume of listings on your website. And so that can improve your website's credibility. Just if somebody's coming to your website from a Google search and they're browsing it and they see that you have a lot of search results that they're being presented with, that gives your site a lot more credibility than if they were only presented with maybe one or two relevant results on your site. It also encourages other businesses to register, because if they see that there's a lot of businesses listed on your site, whether they're claimed or unclaimed, that could give them the idea to register on your website, or if they already have a listing on your site, to claim that listing so that they can update the information there, add new information, add images, add content, add posts to try to become more relevant on your site and hopefully get some more business that way. Another benefit, it kind of overlooked sometimes, but it actually simplifies the sign up process for the businesses that are already listed, because half the work has already been done for them. The basic information, the business name, location, maybe the hours, category, all of that has probably already been imported if you have all that information. So when the business owner comes to their listing and they see all that, all they have to do is select a membership plan to actually create an account on your site. And then once they're logged in, they can just fill in whatever information is remaining. So it does simplify and shorten that sign up process a little bit for the business owners. Another huge benefit is that it does improve your website's SEO value. The more relevant information, the more useful information you have on your website, the more value it will have to search engines. So if you have a business directory and all you have are maybe a dozen businesses, there's other websites that would probably have more listings than you might, and so they might be seen as more valuable to a search engine. But if you can have a lot more listings on your site with useful information like their hours of operation, their locations, their phone number, reviews, even things like that, then that would tremendously increase your website's SEO value. And then the other thing is that it can also act kind of as a marketing avenue for you, because if you do have some of that relevant information for these listings that you've added, then if a business is searching for themselves on Google, which they commonly do to find out where people are leaving reviews for them, if there's any issues that they, like bad reviews that they might need a reply to, they might come across their listing on your website just by doing a quick Google search of themselves. And so that might prompt them to sign up on your site when maybe they wouldn't never have even known about your site if it wasn't for that listing that you already added to it.
And I also want to touch on the second to last point here: improves your website's SEO value. It is certainly true that it can, but it can also be a double-edged sword. Just some things that Google frowns upon or won't necessarily rank your pages for. If Google sees a lot of what's called thin pages or duplicate content pages, not necessarily just on duplicate content on your site, but the exact same information is listed on another website that's been online longer than yours, Google won't necessarily rank those pages in their search results because they just see it as redundant. It won't necessarily hurt you. They just won't index those pages. However, they may index some of the pages of the members' profiles you've imported. And also where the website's SEO value can be improved is Google does look at the visitor's bounce rate. That means how soon do they come to your site and then leave. And the more pages, the more time they're spending on your site and the more pages they're clicking around, basically the more relevant content or relatable content that you can serve to your visitors, the longer they will stay on your site. So having those imported member listings that are available to claim in the sense of keeping visitors on your site a bit longer can certainly help with your website's SEO and show Google that your site is relevant to visitors who are searching for information. So that's the key SEO benefit there, is it can help keep visitors on your site. And then also those listings that you've imported, we don't want thin content. Thin content is just a name and a phone number, and it's listed a million times somewhere else on the internet. But if you spent time slowly adding some unique information to those profile pages that adds value, that is different than just what you purchased in the data list or got from somewhere else, that's the basic business information. If you added some unique content like reviews, or if they eventually started receiving reviews from visitors and things like that, that can also help improve the SEO value of your website as a whole. So don't think just because you import 2 million members into your site that Google's going to start ranking 2 million member profiles on your site, because again, they consider that. You can Google it, what is thin or duplicate content? And again, it won't necessarily penalize your site, but that Google just might not choose to show those pages in their search results, because there are other resources online that already have similar information. So just a pro tip for you guys there on some of the pros and cons of importing business listings and what you can expect.
That's right. When the first thing they want to do is import listings, typically they're going after the quantity aspect, but oftentimes it may serve you better in both the short and the long term to go after the quality aspect. When you take the time to add in a lot of relevant information to those listings that you might not otherwise have if you were to have just imported the business name, phone number, and address, that could also further encourage the business owners to claim their listings and sign up on your site. If a lot of that unique content is already there. Because like you mentioned, Jason, there's so many websites out there that have that basic information. But if you're providing something extra, something of value to the business owner, then that will further help kind of push them across that finish line and hopefully get them signed up and claim their listing.
Yeah, and actually, based on what you're saying, I'm just going to stay on this for just another moment. Claim listings exclusively. I personally don't believe it should be your sole marketing strategy. It should be part of your marketing strategy is importing, business listings and having that information on your site. What I think works best, especially for a site that's trying to launch quickly and look credible quickly, and look like it's been established for a while. What I think the best thing to do is a hybrid. Go ahead and import your business data, and if you want, make those claimable listings. Also, what we always recommend is add your first 100 members yourself, separately from importing. Add 100 and create really well decorated profiles for 100 people in your industry that you think, or whatever number makes sense, just depends on your industry size, but add some listings manually yourself. Put good quality profile images, decorate the profiles as much as possible, and even set those ones that you set up manually that really have nice, kind of better decorated profiles than the ones you imported to be claim listings. Maybe make them higher membership plans, or so they show higher in the search results when visitors are searching, so they see those better listings first, and then they see the claim listings as well. But the ones you manually created on your site that have really good, well-decorated profiles with nice quality images kind of bubble up to the top. Those are the ones you can showcase on your homepage. So if you have a mix of that going on with the members you imported to be claim listing, plus people who just from your other marketing efforts start joining your site organically and normally, now you have a good mix of different types of profiles. And again, I would bubble the more well-decorated profiles on the homepage and at the top of the search results pages. But that would be a quick way to establish a site in just like a week or two. Obviously, it takes time to add those manual profiles and to create some kind of a marketing strategy to get organic members to join your site as well. Then the claimable listings look more organic because you have some real profiles in there, some decorated profiles, and some organic profiles from real members who have joined your site when you're first starting out is mainly what I'm referring to here. So some things to keep in mind when you're thinking about your site from a 360-degree angle here.
Going over how you can go about creating these claimable listings, it's actually really simple. It only takes 2 steps. Either you already have a list of your businesses, in which case you can import them into your website, or you could manually add them one by one. And then all you do is you set the status. There's a status setting for all of the members. And some of the statuses are active, inactive, on hold. But one of them, if you have claim listings, is you can set the status to claim listing. And once you do that, that will automatically add that little banner notification onto these profiles to let the business owners know if they come across the listing that it is unclaimed and that they can create an account and take control of the listing and update it.
So you can import your members and then just set the status to be claim listings for the membership plan that you're importing them as.
Exactly, yeah. So in the next slide, we'll talk about how you can actually go about contacting these businesses, let them know that they have listings on your website. So the simplest kind of first thought that most people would have when they're dealing with claim listings is just a generic email campaign. So this is, it can work. It's not really the best way to go about doing it. And you really don't want to send out a mass email in bulk to all of the listings that you're importing. That's a great way to get your email address flagged and looked at as spam, which we definitely want to avoid. So some best practices if you're going to be emailing these imported listings to try to get the business owners to claim their listings, if you have their email addresses, is to one, include the business name and maybe the location in the subject line. Just personalize it a little bit. Make it so it's not really as generic as it potentially could be. You also want to keep the email body concise. You don't want to send somebody who's never heard of you an essay of an email. Keep it concise, and you can link directly to their listing. So they can just click the link and then immediately see that they have a listing on your site. And then also, like I said, you don't want to send this in bulk to everybody. You want to send it to small segments, maybe 15 or 20 listings at a time, depending on how many listings you've imported or you've added manually. But this would be a great way if you don't want to go the second option here, the personal approach, calling the business owners if you have their phone numbers. If you don't want to go that route, this would be a great way to go about reaching out to those, like Jason mentioned a few minutes ago, those first 100 or so listings that you added manually and you really made sure look nice. You've added all the relevant information. Maybe you've added images. You've made sure to include the business logo and all that sort of information. Those would be the ones that you would really want to reach out to because they're most likely who will actually, you'll get a response from. Business owners, they get emails all the time of websites that are just generating reviews. Maybe they're even copying reviews from other sites. And after a while, business owners, they just tend to ignore some of those emails. So if you can personalize it and make it worth their time, let them know that you have that relevant, unique content on their listings already. All they need to do is click a button to claim it and update the information. That would be a great way to go about doing it.
And there's actually a third option here. It's a hybrid of the personal approach, and we actually covered it in a previous webinar. We had a guest on one of our previous webinars, Corey Barnes, and he's really leveraging Facebook groups, and he's targeting businesses, and he's providing, his website is generating consumer leads. So he's established a Facebook group, and he reached out to us because he was so successful so quickly with his Facebook group and using Brilliant Directories in conjunction with that Facebook group. I'm going to share a link to his webinar here in the chat. Let's see how long this one is. This is about a 25-minute video where he kind of walks through his whole game plan of how he's using Facebook groups to connect with the businesses, and then how he's bringing them to his Brilliant Directories website where they can then, purchase leads, claim their listing, add their listing, and more. So really recommend watching this webinar. I learned a lot from Corey when he was explaining what he was doing. And I think what's best is there's really actionable steps and items in that fireside chat that we had with Corey there. So yeah, definitely worth a look at that.
And so going on to the final slide here, we wanted to just briefly explain how this all works from the actual user's perspective, from the business owner. So when they go to their listing on your website, they click that claim listing button, and that will then direct them to a URL that you've specified. So you can set which page they're directed to. You might want to send them to just a free registration page if you want to get them signed up quickly and immediately. Or you might want to create a dedicated landing page where you have some additional information. You can explain the benefits, and still you might want to have them sign up for free initially, but later on give them the option to upgrade to a paid plan, because again, right now, you're probably starting off with a relatively fresh new site. And so we really just want to get people in the door first. So the business owner, they click that claim listing button. They then either choose the membership plan that they want to create their account under, or you kind of decide that and you send them directly to the registration page. And then the member, the business owner, they go through the normal sign up process, email address, password. And then once they do that, they'll be logged in. They'll have control over the listing. They'll be able to immediately edit all of the information that's associated with the listing, post content if you're allowing them to do that, and all that sort of stuff. So from the user's perspective, from the business owner's perspective, it's a very simple, very quick process.
So yeah, we wanted to kind of see the process in action. So and there's a few available settings that you have for the claim listings, kind of the ones that David just mentioned in the previous slide. So we won't take up too much time with this, but we'll kind of show you some of the basic settings and what you can do to set imported members or members you've added to a claimable listing status, and then how to create the membership plans that are available them to sign up with if they do want to actually claim the listing. So again, I don't want to take up too much time with this, but we'll use this demo site here that we have as an example. There are some sample members on here. I'll even log out of this account that I'm in. So the first thing to do is let's go to our membership plans in the finance section. Okay, great. So let's say we loaded 10,000 business listings into the site, and then we set them as a basic account. I'm actually going to change this a little bit. So we're going to call the plan name. These are the claimable listing. And again, this is more like an internal name for yourself. Claimable listings membership plan. And these are people you've imported and so on. So they're really, no one's going to sign up to this plan. Actually, if you went to the sign up page, it would tell you that you can't sign up to a membership plan. That's the claimable listing designation. So under the pricing tab right now, you can go to account type and set it to claim. And here we'll see claim listing web link. So when you're on the member's profile page and it says claim this listing, you can decide where you want that button to go. So just as a simple example, you can take them to your join page where you probably have several plans for them to choose from, and then they can choose a plan and they'll sign up to that plan, the membership plan that they want to claim the listing with. In my opinion, and I'm just going to fast track here, what I like to do is simplify the process, because really it's hard to get your foot in the door. Someone's already claiming their listing and you want to streamline the process. So something you could probably do is, let's just change this featured one here that's here. You want to direct them immediately to a registration page. So we'll just call this plan called claimed listing, and we'll just make it free for now. And I'll save the changes. So this would be a claimed listing, and let's see what the sign up page looks like. Create account, claim listing, cool. So the URL for this page is checkout 2. Okay, cool. So if we go back to the claimable listing, so this is what's claimable, the claimable web link, going to make it checkout 2. This will make more sense in just a minute when we see it on the live site. So we want people who are claiming their listing to be directed when they click the link to claim the listing to checkout 2. And I'll save the changes. Okay, great. So now let's go back and look at some claimable listing profiles. I'll just click on here to view all the members who are part of this claim account. And we can look at here, Capital of Texas Zoo. We'll view their profile. Okay, great. So here's the profile, and here's the message that we see. Are you Capital of Texas Zoo? A claim listing. So here's the button, and if I click this button, this is the link that it's going to take me to check. See, it's taking me directly to checkout 2. It's saying you are claiming, and then the information of the profile. Claim your listing below for Capital of Texas Zoo, and this is a free sign up in this case. So I can go ahead and just sign up to this account. And I'll create my profile. Okay, great. So it's a free sign up. You can check your email to verify the email address. And I will log into the dashboard. So now I've claimed this profile. Now, another pro tip, you might be thinking, well, if you offer a free option, what's to stop someone from claiming all the profiles that I've uploaded to my site? Well, two things. One is if you're offering a free option, you could put them through a few more hoops. They can certainly claim it for free, but then manually you can ask them to take an action, like to call you from their phone number on file, or you need to call their phone number. If you want to take those extra steps like Yelp does to actually certifiably, verify that it is the business claiming the business, or maybe you don't care. The other thing is you can tell them to claim it for $1. So they have to pay, and it's very fat chance that on some random site, some business is going to go claim all the businesses for $1. So a legitimate business would want to claim it for $1, or you could just direct them to all your membership plans that are available, and they can choose if they want bronze, silver, or gold plan to sign up with and claim their listing. So there are a few different options and models that you can offer during the workflow for the claim listings. But the thing that's the most important is the business can find their profile, click the claim listing button, and then you're in charge of the membership plan options that are available to them in order to claim that listing, whether it's free with moderation, paid, or choosing from multiple membership plans. Let me log out of here, and let's just change the link to the join link instead of directly to the checkout page. So we'll just change this back to the join page, or whatever web page that you want that also includes a link, eventual link to a checkout page. And let's just go to another person's profile here. Okay, it's asking if I want to claim the listing, and in this time it will take me to the join page. So it says choose a plan to join, and I have the 3 plans on my website. Maybe they're only paid options available, but you can have multiple plans for the claim listings. Let's see if I choose this one here. Check out one. So this one is also a free plan that I have, but you can certainly direct them to a paid plan. Another cool thing that you guys can do, and this one is kind of overlooked also, on the profile page, if we scroll down, there is an option for the make a connection or claim listing banner position. So up here in the filter, if you just want to search claim, and under profile page, you have the make a connection claim listing banner position. Personally, for these profiles, if you're going to be having them as claim listing, I think above the profile photo is a better location for this because it stands out at the top of the page. And let's see what that looks like together. Let's go back to this person's profile. So we can see here, it kind of immediately grabs your attention right away. Are you the coaching pair? Claim this listing to receive referrals. So you can choose if you want it kind of in between these tabs here and the profile photo, or certainly at the top of the page. So that's a cool setting that you may want to take advantage of, is the location of the make a connection / claim listing banner position. Now, I know I ran through that pretty quick, David. Did I miss anything? Was there anything else we should mention about that?
I think you covered most of it. I think just to summarize how best to utilize claimable listings, because we got a lot of people who want to immediately jump in, upload thousands of listings and hope that that's kind of their golden ticket. We typically wouldn't recommend doing that and sending out a mass email to all of them, trying to get them to sign up and using that as your only means of trying to get registered members on your site. Instead, you'll probably want to use claimable listings as just another tool in your toolbox as you're growing your directory site, and use it in conjunction with those standard best practices that we mentioned, like manually adding those initial high quality listings first and prioritizing those high value listings on your site first to add that initial value.